Toronto buzzed with life. Dozens of events, meetings, and rallies. For Maddie, it was just another day of work. She was heading to a local gallery to meet Riley and discuss the upcoming Pride photo exhibition. When Riley walked in, camera slung over her shoulder, with a shy smile and that familiar gaze of someone always observing the world through a lens, Maddie felt a flutter in her chest. They had met only a couple of months ago, but Riley had already become a part of her life. Her photographs were like windows into other people's souls, raw and deeply honest. Maddie even envied Riley's ability to capture such moments. "Hey," Riley said, brushing her wind-tossed blonde hair out of her face. "Hey, did you bring the photos from the march?" Maddie nodded toward the bag. "Yeah, but you know." Riley hesitated slightly. "I think you should see them where they were taken." A week later, they were standing at the edge of the water. Lake Louise in Alberta looked like a postcard. Crystal clear waters framed by pine trees and snow-capped peaks. Riley had suggested the trip on a whim, and Maddie, exhausted from the city's hustle, had eagerly agreed. "It feels like time stops here," Maddie said, inhaling the crisp mountain air. "That's why I love shooting in places like this," Riley replied, adjusting her tripod. Maddie watched Riley work with her usual quiet focus and felt herself drawn to the photographer. But something held her back. Perhaps the knowledge that Riley wasn't yet ready to fully open up to the world. Later, as the sun dipped behind the mountains, they sat by a crackling fire. Riley pulled out her camera and started scrolling through the photos. "This one I took when you were helping set up the stage at Pride," she said. "Look, you look like a superhero," Maddie laughed. "I'm wearing a vest and holding a wrench. Super romantic." Then silence. Only the crackling fire and the sound of crickets filled the air. Riley glanced away. "Maddie, can I say something?" Her voice was barely above a whisper. "Of course. I've spent so long being afraid my parents would find out about me. I'm still scared. But when I'm around you, I feel right. Like I'm my real self." Maddie's heart raced. She gently took Riley's hand. "Riley, you are real. You're more than your fear." They looked into each other's eyes, and it was the moment. Maddie leaned in slowly, and their lips met. The kiss was soft, cautious, but filled with certainty, as if both knew this was meant to be. Riley woke up early. Maddie was still asleep, bundled in her sleeping bag. Smiling, Riley grabbed her camera and quietly took a couple of photos. Then she sat by the lake, gazing out at the turquoise water. When Maddie stirred, Riley handed her the camera. "I took this earlier. This is you, just as you are. No masks, no roles, just you." Maddie looked at the photo and realized it was the most beautiful portrait anyone had ever taken of her. She pulled Riley into a hug, whispering, "Thank you for this. For everything." Against the backdrop of Lake Louise's turquoise waters, life felt like a scene from a movie. But they both knew the real world lay ahead, with its challenges and doubts. Yet now they had something to hold on to. They had found each other.